reminders are messages that are scheduled for a future time and date and can even be scheduled on a recurring basis. So, for example, a medication reminder possibly that you want 3 times a week on specific days, or birthday reminders once a year, or a doctor appointment every other week. All of these are possible using the scheduled reminder feature. So to set a scheduled reminder, click on the plus action button on the bottom right of the screen and choose Schedule Reminder. It'll look very similar to the message interface, but has a few additional options, most of them having to do with the agenda view, and I will go through that as well. But over here I can say, evening meds to blue pills. Okay, and we want to schedule that for, we could start it today, that's fine, and we'll schedule it for 7 p.m. But this is a reminder that we want daily, so we'll do every day. Okay, so that doesn't show up yet because it's not yet 7 o'clock, but if I do go into the scheduled, I'll see that every day, right, I have this scheduled from 7 to 7:15. Okay, let's go in and edit that. I'm just going to show a couple of additional options here on the repeat. So we can do every day, we could do every week, and then you can select the days that you want. So this may be a medication that's taken Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, and maybe it only needs to be taken 3 or 4 times, so we can adjust the times to repeat it. And maybe there's a specific date that you want to skip, so you can add that to the skip dates as well. Okay, let's leave this, so that's one, okay, annually, so every December 26th at 7 p.m. we can pop up, remind someone of a birthday. That's a great use case for that. You can, of course, adjust the time that messages show. By default, reminders. By default, a reminder will show for 15 minutes on the screen, but we can adjust that, and we can even make them all day. Okay, let's put this back down to 15 minutes, and let's go ahead and save this. Okay, I'm going to turn on agenda view now. Sorry, let's go back in and edit. I'm going to turn on agenda view on this clock so that we can go through and understand what these options are over here. Okay, so let's go ahead over to our clock settings, and I have a separate video on this, so I'm just going to rush through this. I'm going to turn on an agenda view, and we're going to set it to 3 days. Okay, so now you see all my scheduled reminders for the next 3 days. Now, over here, we have a start time and an end time, right? Evening meds start at 7:15. There really is not an end time for that. We just want to remind someone at 7 p.m. to take their evening meds. So we can go ahead in to that, and this option over here, show end time on agenda, we're going to uncheck that. Again, because this is not something that happens in between a specific 15 minutes. We really just want the starting time of that. And you'll see here on the screen, the end time went away. Okay, another use case for that is here, Dave and Debbie coming for breakfast at 8 a.m. Well, they're not coming between 8 and 8:15, they're coming at 8 a.m. and there really is no end time for that. Whereas the physical therapist might be something, let's go ahead and change that, maybe she's coming for an hour, so we want a reminder that she's going to be there for an hour. Okay, so we'll save that, and now, right, the physical therapist is coming between 5 and 6 p.m. So you can play with this and adjust it as you like. Another thing here is you'll see that here I have some green reminders, an orange reminder, and blue one, and that's the color category. So you can change this, play with it, whatever works best. Let's change this one to red. All right, and then that changes the background. It makes it easier to distinguish and see and really highlight the different reminders that are coming up. And the color will match on your phone app as well. Okay, so that's that. Show on day clock agenda. You may have a reminder that you want in your calendar over here and the other family members, but you don't necessarily want it showing either in the agenda view or to show up at all on the clock. Okay, maybe you don't want your loved one knowing that this meeting is happening, but you do want to make use of the calendar as a shared calendar. So you can go ahead and say untick show on day clock agenda, and that will come off. Okay, and the same show as Q on day clock if you don't want it showing at all on the day clock, even when it's time for that reminder. You can uncheck that, and then it'll really only be internal, and you won't be using it, you won't be showing it rather on the day clock at all. Okay, those are reminders. Reminders, just like messages, they can be edited, deleted, and pinned. You can't send the reminder now. It has to be scheduled, so there's no play button there. But otherwise, it acts very similar to a message.